our assessment have proven that they are either a weak organizational structure or a responsive team to respond to this crisis. So we are engaged in structural and organizational reform at the Drugs Enforcement Agency. The first major area of our reform plan focuses on addressing integrity and credibility issues by firstly mandating a random drug test for all personnel of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency to ensure that those who are fighting drugs crime are not also ones abusing those substances. This action is indicative of our plan to revamp the institution's human resource capacity and fully develop a credible, professional, and reliable workforce. In so doing, we have informed all officers of the LDEA to fully cooperate, as non-compliant attitude will not be tolerated by this team. As part of our desire to engage all stakeholders, as you know, the agency cannot take the responsibility by itself or on its own. We have begun dialogues and collaborations with some governmental, private, and civil society organizations. We focus on prevention and other areas with specific needs. A strategic structures and policy review committee have been instituted at the agency to review structure and policies with focus to train and develop a manpower capacity and provide in-service training for employees as we expect the continuation of the basic recruit training process inherited from our predecessor. As a need to increase the strength of the agencies cannot be overemphasized. Currently, we don't have a specialized tactical response team at the LDEA. The agencies that are fighting drugs cannot have just men moving. So one of our plans, one of our key objectives is to establish a specialized tactical response unit that will be well equipped to respond to this situation. We are looking at developing other priorities, include the calling and communication system within the LDEA. We need a standardized communication and calling system within the LDEA. When you see LDEA personnel in the field, you identify him distinctly as an LDEA personnel, well visible. We're looking at uniform issue of the LDEA. As you be aware, personnel of the LDEA, some of them are in t-shirt, some of them are in jacket, and some of them are in other uniform clothing. We want to have an organized uniform system within the LDEA. We want to look at the salary issue. If you have a personnel fighting drugs, if you have some of them taking home salary of $200, $150, we have to pay attention to the salary structure of the LDEA. Currently, the personnel, Mr. Minister, the personnel at LDEA do not have insurance coverage. There is no health and medical insurance and life insurance for personnel who fighting drugs, who paying, sacrificing their time in the rain and in the sun. When they are sick, they go to their little income and take themselves to the hospital. When they have dependents and spouse, so we have to pay attention to the organized medical and life insurance coverage for officers within the LDEA. We want to look at the fleet management policy of the LDEA. To respond to this, we need a functional fleet system within the LDEA. Drugs and alcohol issues. We need to review, we partner with a legal team to review and look at the drugs and alcohol policy in this country. Recently, the Ministry of Health announced a restriction on shisha and tramadol. When policy statements are made, there should be a strategic framework to execute that. Currently, we don't have a strategic framework to execute that. So in incoming days, we'll be partnershiping with the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Youth and Sport, Ministry of Internal Affairs, Ministry of Commerce, to look at how we can develop a framework to implement this policy. We want to have a standardized procedures in the LDEA to respond to incidents. Operational guidelines to ensure that our response is consistent with policies and procedures. Our evidence handling are consistent with protocols and best practice, and our prosecution support. So today, we wrote His Honor, the Chief Justice, to give a leverage to the LDEA in accessing a court warrant for search and seizure. The second thematic area is to improve and reinforce our operational capacity. Like I said from the beginning, we want to establish a tactical team, like what we have in the police, the emergency response unit, or the police support unit, well trained, well organized to respond to drugs issues. Drugs issues around the world is a tough war to fight. Like the minister said, it's very difficult to fight drugs. So we want to have a team that is responsible to do that, to be able to navigate through cartels and dismantle drug networks. In the last few days, we have developed a strategic 90 days operational plan, working with communities, civil societies, organizations, and other partners aimed at dismantling drugs trafficking networks, demolition of ghettos and criminal hangouts, and the suppression of substance abuse within our borders. As you're aware, the President's mandate is 90 days. So we have two responsibilities: to look at the internal administrative structure of the LDEA and to dismantle criminal network in drug trafficking and abuse. To achieve this, we are encouraging our media colleagues and all stakeholders to include the Liberia National Police, the Liberia Immigration Service, the Fire Service, Customs, and all national security apparatus and institutions to join ranks with the LDEA in securing the future of our children now and the unborn. Let it be known that the upcoming operations of the LDEA will know no foe nor friend. We will drastically deal with any individual or group of individuals that will want to undermine this fight against drugs. Thank you.